arrest and imprisonment of Mr. Norbert and Dr.kiza Besigye and others in the Kasongora government prison. Fellow countrymen and women, there have been media reports regarding the recent arrest and imprisonment of some individuals in relation to offences in breach of the laws of Uganda. There have also been issues regarding the visiting of these people, notably Mr. Norbert and Dr.kiza Besigye, by Ugandans and some members of the diplomatic community. There have also been issues connected with the choice of Nakasongora government prison to accommodate the rights-related prisoners. Government would like to make the following clarifications. The arrest and imprisonment of Mr. Norbert and Mr. Kiza Besigye in Nakasongora was effected according to the laws of Uganda. According to Section 73 of the Prisons Act 2006, I hope some of you have copies by now, especially those who are doing investigative journalism. Subsection 1, I quote, "A prisoner being sentenced or during confinement may be removed to any prison established under this Act." End of quote. The same section in subsection 3 also states that, I quote, "The Commissioner General may, by special order, direct that a prisoner be transferred from one prison to which he or she was committed to which he or she was committed or in which he or she is detained to another prison." End of quote. This therefore explains the circumstances under which Mr. Mao and 6 others were transferred to Nakasongora government prison from Besigye maximum security prison. Mr. Mao and 6 others will thus remain in Nakasongora until 2nd May 2011, when they will appear in court. As for Dr.kiza Besigye, he was remanded by Nagweru Court to Nakasongora prison until 27th April 2011, which happens to be tomorrow. So visitations to prisoners, and you need to understand this. You can go to visit a prison or to visit prisoners. They are different. There are regulations controlling the visiting of prisoners in this country. This is to ensure orderliness. According to the government prisons standing orders, part 2, I quote, "Visits to prisoners shall normally take place between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon and 2 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. on any day of the week except Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays." End of quote. Section C of the chapter states that a prisoner awaiting trial shall be allowed to see his or her legal advisor on any working day at any reasonable hour in the sight, but not in the hearing of the prison's officer. Chapter 42 provides for the categories of visitors to prisoners. These include 1. Visiting justices. These are cabinet ministers, judges of the High Court and the Supreme Court, chief magistrates, magistrates grade 1 and 2. Then we have official visitors. Those are persons defined by the government gazette as official visitors to a particular prison. These are in the gazette. Unofficial visitors, these include officers and other departments having business with administration of prison, or persons calling upon the officer in charge with regard to business with the administration of the prison. Then category number 4 are visitors to prisoners. That's where the majority of you fall, including those that attempted to go yesterday. These are relatives of friends authorized by law to visit individual prisoners, or voluntary visitors authorized by the Commissioner General therein of prisons. Then there are legal advisors, these are lawyers, NGOs, aftercare officers, and members of the clergy or religious teachers. Those fall under visitors to prisoners. The officer in charge, therefore, will not permit any other visitor to enter or visit a prison. Particular attention is drawn to the following points. A visitor will not be allowed to visit without a visitor will not be allowed to write about prison matters without the consent of the Commissioner General of Prisons. B, a visitor will visit such prisoners as they are placed on his list by the officer in charge. You don't go visiting Alex and you reach there and say, I want to see Rebecca and Arnold. If it is Alex, on your request will be Alex, you'll be allowed to see. A visitor, C, no letter of any kind may be conveyed to or from the prisoner without the OC's permission. D, no food, drink, tobacco, books, or articles of any kind should be given to any prisoner without authorization. Conveying any article into or out of the prison contrary to the rules is an offense against the law. And E, prison visitors have no authority or statutory powers within the prison establishment. So, visiting by members of the diplomatic community. This one has been around with us since the other day. While the aforementioned regulations apply to all individuals, there are special considerations guided by international conventions that apply to members of the diplomatic community if they are to visit any prison. Such visitors must be cleared by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the ministry or department or agency hosting them. As far as the government of Uganda is concerned, there was no such clearance before the diplomats went to Nakasongola government prison, which was irregular. We are, however, currently addressing this matter at a diplomatic level and will be informing you of the progress. For God and my country.
Thank you very much.
Otage?
Yeah. Honorable Minister, I would like to know, just for clarity, are you trying to say that it's illegal for, say, the press to write about it?
My question goes to the general. I wanted to find out why those prisoners
All of them.
What about associated press? When did the envoys go there and what happened when they reached there? Were they pushed out? What happened there?
Thank you.
When and what
Yes, please.
happened?
The photograph has been taken to Besigye. Was it cleared by the authorities?
Had been taken.
That was taken to Besigye. Something was taken to Besigye.
When?
Someone from Kasanga collected food and
Which one?
Kasanga.
Are you sure it is?
Interesting.
Can you expand on the allegations that came out of State House and that were published in the Monitor that foreign governments are helping Besigye or Monitor yesterday, I think it was?
Another one.
Nsubuga Chawariana Mizangada, NBS and Smari FM. So
Which one?
NBS
NBS, huh?
NBS and Smari FM.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
So
Is it smart?
yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Will clarify to the public about what will happen yesterday when Major General with pangs, weapons. Can you really?
Diplomats who come to your
But I know there were some officials from the Netherlands embassy. think one from the Irish embassy.
2. Is it illegal to write about what happens in prisons?
No, it is not illegal. Right. Have they charged anybody for writing about prison? You can write about what happened. But it will be good to write the information which will give you as prison. If you go to the prison and get information from there, first of all, as you heard the minister say, that would be illegal. If you get information which we have got here. That's why any writing that comes out of the prison must be censored by us.
Yes.
We have to censor any that is coming out of it. But you can write. You have been writing about prison conditions and what is happening there. I have been hearing the homosexuality and the very many things. You can write. But you should always try to concentrate with us about the information we write about prison. That's why we have a public relations officer, and you will get the correct information.
Yeah. And what I read was specifically without the permission or clearance of the Commissioner General. You journalists, you can write, but you must also seek the input of the Commissioner General or whoever delegates you to contact. Otherwise, you may be telling the.
Also a question.
There is something.
What happened to the Congo?
Okay, you can finish that. When did they come and what happened?
Yes.
Were they pushed out of your ward?
You know, in the press, it appeared that we had invited them. I think that's what was written, that at the invitation of the prison authority, which is not true. I think they invited themselves, and through the process I'm yet to find out, they got access to prison. I haven't got a report from Nakasonga there, but they were not authorized by me. They didn't go through the diplomatic channels, but they got access. And to me, that is erroneous, and it is an anomaly. I'm sure that's what the Honourable Minister was talking about, that they are taking it up with the diplomatic, through the diplomatic channels.
There's only did answer why
We are coming to that. Why?
when
When? You want when?
Why were the prisoners?
Why were the prisoners transferred
From
Ruzira to Nakasonga?
It was at my discretion. That's what the law says. At the discretion of the Commissioner General, I can decide to transfer you from Guru to Karamoja. But you should probably look back at the events that were unfolding before they said transfer on Thursday. You will recall that there were radio announcements. Some people were threatening to march. They call it March to Freedom, to march to Ruzira. And the intelligence reports I got really said this was for Rio. And of course I didn't just sit down and wait for these people to come. Why? You are aware of the type of prisoners we have in Ruzira, some of you. You know, I have the Al-Shabaab suspects. I have the lifers. I have all the capital offenders, those who have committed the most heinous crimes you can think of. They are up there. Once you cause agitation, and there are 5,000, they are more than us in number. You can have a situation which you cannot handle. That's why I took that decision to have Mao and company in a safer place. I want to say that Mao is, to me, Mao is not an ordinary prisoner. He's the President General of the Democratic Party, and therefore, to us, he's
Ex-presidential candidate.
Ex-presidential candidate is not ordinary. And I wouldn't allow that situation that was unfolding in New Zealand to find him there. You will want to note also that he transferred him safely, no scaffold, and that he reached his destination. All these we have to take due care, and we did our professional work. So, when they bring you to me, and I have a belief that probably your life is in danger, I'll transfer you to where I think you safe. That's cardinal reason. Safety of prisoners and security.
Thank you. I think the Commissioner General should be held for that oversight.
I don't know where you come from, where you are born, where your home is.
I don't know how relevant that is.
You know, what I wanted to say.
Let's assume it is Utambala.
What I wanted to say that if they convict you and I have you in my facilities, I can decide to transfer you to near where you come from. For one, for you to access your relative to access you more easily. That's one. Number two, that when you are to be released, I will have it easy to integrate you into your community. All those the law allows me to do. So it shouldn't be strange to anybody like you to do some of these transfers. If Nakasongola is threatened the same way Rosella was threatened, I have other facilities in Karamoja, I have other facilities in Uguru of similar nature. And I wanted to tell you that Nakasongola is the correctional facility worth talking about. Better than some of these I saw in the United States and the United States.
Was the food cleared by?
No, I've not seen the food. But when you take food to a prisoner, it is on the discretion of the officer in charge of the prison. Either allow it or not allow it. But as you all know, we usually allow uncooked food within our prison. It is a good practice. It is not in the law. In fact, somewhere it is even prohibited. But we allow uncooked food in the prison, and inmates can cook for themselves.
Yeah, but we need to separate two things. My sister, it was like the people of Kasangati, the well-wishers, collected food, purportedly for Besigye. But whether they travel to Nakasongola to deliver it, the Commissioner General is not aware of that. And if they follow the procedure, there is no problem with it, he has already explained. Or Laro Tunu and DP are planning to go back to Nakasongola. Will you allow them to access the prisoner, Commissioner General?
Yeah, they will be taken in the other category of visitors to prison now. And there's nothing to prohibit them from accessing the
and let them do it first, or they shouldn't do it on the weekend? We don't want to
the times have been specified,
yes.
Honorable Minister.
They may not know, but kindly inform them.
During the working days, and also outside the lunchtime. I think it was very clear outside lunchtime. 9 to noon? Because 2
to 4:30.
The inmates also need to take lunch, we also need to take lunch. That's one. Number two, we want also to have Easter holidays. Like NOV. So public holidays we usually don't give access. But if the Commission again has power to allow a visit for the public, if I feel it is good for the prison, I can allow a visit for the public. But I will have to authorize it.
The opposition wants to talk to the NRM government. Are you interested? But it's our president who said, come, I'm right there and willing to talk to you. Why are you turning it the other way around? But I will tell you that government and the opposition have been dialoguing under the IPOD, the Interparty Organization for Dialogue, IPOD. And actually, that was the time when we came up with the regulations concerning demonstrations. All these parties signed. So, they are welcome, and we are interested in talking. We have talked to everybody else who is not the opposition. I have not heard them demanding the release of Besigye and who? And Mao before they start talking. They said it today. Today. Well, I think they have to study the laws of Uganda very well. Mao did indicate that he's not interested in bail. So as a government, we can't force Mao to get bail. Unless they are creating excuses that will make it difficult or impossible for government to interact with them. But this is not up to government to say Mao walk out. Even Besigye was remanded by the Nagweru court that did deny him bail. And I think tomorrow, they should be bringing him to court on this bail issue. So, please, it's not up to the NRM government to say, get out. If you have been talking of the separation of powers, the independence of the judiciary, you allow the judiciary to do their work, and the executive also do it. But we are ready anytime to dialogue with them. And that time, I think, will be soon. Foreign government are helping Besigye Topo government. Interesting. I know government has information that there are foreigners, whether governments or individuals, that are supporting the opposition. That are supporting the opposition. And you must quote me very, very well. They are supporting the opposition. And we are also aware that this is only the first phase. To disorganize Uganda, to prevent the swearing in of the candidate who won by 68%, 60 towards 69%, 69% if you round it off, 69% from being sworn in. And I'll tell you, they were hiding behind the increase in prices, in fuel, in food, but we have landed on that plot, and we are prepared as government. And come 12th May, you are all invited for the swearing in of our next president. And yes, and I believe it will be at Colombo. You are all invited. So we are aware. And they have also informed Ugandans that this is not the end of it. So when they come up with something else, be aware. But the government of Uganda, the NRM government is in charge. Is in charge. And all they are doing, they are trying to account for the support they are getting. And maybe to ask for more. Muzanganda. There are several cases. And there is evidence. But we are not going to give you that evidence here in a press conference. That will be our evidence in court. So you wait. When the case comes up for mention, you will know. Don't speculate. You know paparazzi is like speculating. But it's not good for our country. You wait. The charges will be read. And the evidence will be adduced. And at the end of the day, it will be up to the court to make a ruling. 700 FDC supporters with weapons. Well, IGP couldn't have created this scene, I believe. If he invited you and paraded those people and the weapons they found with them, yes. So I trust the IGP. I don't think he could have created the scene just to make a point. Those human beings are there, and the weapons, what did you say? Which weapons? Those weapons. Yes. They are there. They are not created. And I believe the investigations are going on, and once the files are ready, they will also be taken to court. I thank you.